The separation of powers under threat like never before. The framers of the Constitution intended that there be a balance of power between the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, with no branch dominant over the other. At issue is President Trump's decision to unilaterally impose tariffs on numerous nations,
39%,
claiming that a national emergency allowed him to seize what the Constitution makes clear is the sole right of Congress. On November the 5th last year, the Supreme Court heard oral argument on the issue.
All say only Congress has the power to impose tariffs on the American people, and tariffs are nothing but taxes on the American people, paid by Americans.
The president's lawyers argue that tariffs are a foreign policy decision, that in what they contend is a national emergency, the executive can take without the consent of Congress.
I hope we get that Supreme Court decision because we have taken in hundreds of billions of dollars of money. We're a rich nation again.
Over 1,000 companies have signaled that they'll join the case against the president, staking a claim to be refunded from the more than $150 billion in tariffs that have already been collected. The difficulty of reimbursement seems to be on the mind of at least one of the justices.
If you win, tell me how the reimbursement process would work. Would it be a complete mess?
The issue of reimbursement could be one of the reasons for the delay in the decision. But the constitutional principle should have nothing to do with economic consequences. In addition, there is a decade-old precedent in which the urgency of the situation resulted in a lightning decision by Supreme Court standards.
This is war.
In 1952, with the Korean War raging, President Harry S. Truman ordered the government to take over steel mills. The businesses sued, and the Supreme Court had to decide quickly whether the president had exceeded his constitutional authority. Oral argument was heard on the 12th of May, and just 3 weeks later, the court released its 6-3 decision against the president. 6 decades later, the court is again weighing the power of the executive against the constitutional right of Congress. The decision of the justices, now as consequential as it was then. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.